Hey, I'm Toussaint Morrison. Thank you so much for tuning into the Social Science Club. I am in a different backdrop, as you see right now. I'm in Kansas City. But I wanted to talk about why I've turned up to daily vlogs on this channel. And a lot of it has to do with, as I said before in a lot of vlogs, being of service to my community. And I was having a really tough time figuring out how to do that. And I hope that this video helps you. And if you find this video of value, hit subscribe or like, share, do whatever you please. But this video is just gonna kind of go into the gradient of making content and why I make it. And I think it's important to kind of point this out like once every month or two for me to check in with myself and also with everybody that tunes into this channel, which I appreciate y'all tuning in. I didn't know why I was making content when I started doing it. Well, actually, it was just self-help. It was like the process of an artist. And then George Floyd was murdered here, not here in Kansas City, but in my hometown of Minneapolis, the place where I stay. And it turned into a lot of community work and community outreach and how can you be of service to your community. And as cops get prosecuted and sent off to prison and other things happen, the momentum kind of dies down in a community of, hour-to-hour activism. And what happens is you start to question, okay, what do I do now? There's no protest. What do we do? What do we do? And I didn't know how to be of service unless something bad was happening in my head. And it turned into this world of just reaction. And so what I found myself doing was waiting for the next bad thing to happen, and that felt awful. I didn't particularly like that. So I had to stop. I stopped for a while. You'll notice the timeline on here. There's not a whole lot of videos for months at a time. And I had to recalibrate what the hell am I doing and why am I doing it? And I had the chance to hang out with family and some little nephews and just the people in my family. And I thought about this and I saw a video. I forget the brother's name, but he said why you should create content. And I'll go into several different reasons here. One is what he said, and another is scaling messages. I'm just saying that so I remember it. But he started talking about his great-grandmother and his grandmother and then his great-grandfather. And then he asked everybody to remember their great-grandparents and what would they give to hear a video from those people on how they're living life and how they go about their lives. And I thought that was amazing. I was like, wow, holy shit. And I mean, it would be amazing to see a video on how to be a human from my grandmother or my great-grandmother for that matter. And creating content for me is a means of giving back to my family and my community in hoping that the journey in my life is not in vain, and that the trials and tribulations I've gone through are not in vain, and that somebody can learn something from the story. And the other thing is scaling messages and information, which is kind of in the same vein, and it's this idea that, there are things that happen and I just want to shout it to the world, but not through a tweet or not through just another post or writing it. I want to shout it, in the medium, through the medium that I think is most powerful and suits me, suits my voice, and that I can assert service to people best. And so making these videos is part of that, and doing the 60-second videos of just, hey, this happened, boom, 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 boom. Information, do what you will, is part of it. And it's definitely been working. And even if it's working for me, and I hope that it's helping people too. And I've kind of followed direction from folks, and that's just kind of how it's turned out. And so by scaling a message, people talk about scaling a business, like growing it. It's the idea of growing a message or growing information, and you give that to somebody and then they take it and go somewhere with it. And they may disagree with it. They may not agree. They may agree with it. That's not the point. The point is to give you information and a message for you to then determine where you're at with the topic that I'm talking about. And that has been the journey with all of this. And I find that to be a value to people around me, and I find it to be a value to me because I'm able to find my own voice in all of this. And I don't feel muted or drowned out or like I'm not doing anything. And it becomes a situation where folks are just getting informed, and then they can do whatever they want with that information. Obviously, I have an opinion, and I have some jabs and whatnot that I may throw in there, but that's part of who I am, and that's part of how I deliver information. And so that's how I found my way right now. Now, I think it could possibly change, not really though. But the way that this thing kind of started out, and I forgot to put in the beginning, was a friend said, "Oh, now because you're doing all these news topics, you're gonna have to stick to it. You can't do music anymore. You can't do spoken word. You can't do acting or film." Yeah, I can. I can do all that. I mean, I can still do it. It's part of it. Part of my writing is this. Part of my writing is music. And just because I'm doing this doesn't mean I can't do music, which there is an album coming out in a few months, but we'll talk about that later. But on this channel, that's all of it. It's the music videos I make, the spoken word that I perform, the messages that I scale, or whatever it is. That's part of my voice. And if that can help somebody along the way to figure out what the F is going on in their life, then I've done my job. And that's it. That's just somebody seeing themselves in whatever's going on in the world or in the information that I'm putting out and helping them navigate that. And that can happen through music, spoken word, or even these informational vlogs. So I hope that you get something from them. Comment sections have been getting spicy, but I guess that's to be had, and people are gonna say what they wanna say, and that's fine. It's great. And hopefully you learn a little bit more about your community or the comment section, one or the other. But yeah, that's pretty much it as a check-in for what this channel is and where it's going. Appreciate y'all. And yeah, I hope everything's going well for you. I really do. I truly do. And we will see you in the next video.